Most people take medications every day. Some have been taking them for years, and almost no one ever asks a simple question. What is this medication doing to my body over time? Not just the condition it is treating, but to everything else. The liver, the gut, the vitamins, the systems that keep the body in balance. This question rarely gets raised in a doctor's office. There simply isn't enough time. And so millions of people continue taking their medications faithfully, which is often entirely the right thing to do, while quietly, slowly, certain systems in the body begin to feel the strain. Today we're going to talk about something most people never hear. We will look honestly at what long-term medication use can do to the body's natural systems. And then more importantly, we will explore what nature offers to help support those systems while medications do their necessary work. This is not about replacing medicine. It is about understanding the full picture and making choices that protect your health from every angle. The problem. What medications can do behind the scenes. Modern medicine is one of the greatest achievements in human history. Antibiotics have saved hundreds of millions of lives. Blood pressure medications prevent strokes. Diabetes drugs help people live longer, fuller lives. There's no honest conversation about health that dismisses these realities. And yet, inside every powerful tool, there's also a cost. Many commonly used medications, statins for cholesterol, metformin for blood sugar, proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, and certain blood pressure drugs have been associated with the gradual depletion of specific essential nutrients: magnesium, B vitamins, vitamin D, coenzyme, Q10. These are foundational to energy production, nerve function, heart health, and cellular repair. When these levels fall slowly over months or years, people often don't connect the symptoms to their medication. Fatigue becomes a fact of aging. Muscle weakness is accepted as normal. But sometimes there's a different explanation hiding in plain sight. Then there is the gut. Antibiotics are the most striking example. They are life-saving, but they work by killing bacteria, and they do not distinguish well between harmful bacteria and the beneficial microorganisms that protect the intestinal lining. Research has shown that a single course of antibiotics can significantly alter the gut microbiome, and that recovery can take months to years. The gut microbiome is deeply connected to immune function, mood, the production of certain vitamins, and the integrity of the intestinal wall. And finally, there is the liver. Every single medication passes through the liver for processing. It is remarkably resilient, but when it processes many substances daily over many years, it benefits enormously from deliberate support. This is where nature steps in, not to replace medicine, but to stand beside it. An important word first. Before we go any further, let me be very clear. Nothing in this video is medical advice. If you are taking prescription medications, please do not change or stop them without speaking to your doctor. Stopping medications abruptly can be dangerous. What we are discussing today is support, natural strategies that may help the body handle the additional burdens that long-term medication use can place upon it. The goal is not to be anti-medicine. The goal is to be pro-body. Before we dive in, I'd like to ask you something. Are you currently taking any long-term medications? Have you ever wondered about their effects on your body over time? Share your thoughts in the comments below. This community learns from each other, and your perspective genuinely matters. Section 1. Milk thistle, the liver's oldest ally. The story of milk thistle begins more than 2,000 years ago. This plant, with its distinctive purple flower and spiny leaves marked by white veins, has been used by healers across Europe and the Mediterranean for centuries to support the liver and digestive system. Traditional healers described it as a plant that could cleanse the blood, ease liver complaints, and support the body after periods of illness or excess. Modern researchers eventually turned their attention to this ancient remedy, and what they found was remarkable. The active compound in milk thistle is a group of flavonoids called silymarin, found primarily in the seeds. Silymarin has been studied extensively for its effects on the liver. Research suggests it may help protect liver cells from damage caused by toxins, alcohol, and, particularly relevant here, the chronic processing of certain medications. One study at Columbia University examined children undergoing chemotherapy for leukemia who had developed liver toxicity from their treatment. Half of the children were given milk thistle. Those who received the herb showed liver enzyme levels trending back toward normal even while continuing chemotherapy. suggesting a protective effect without any interference with treatment. For adults taking long-term medications, milk thistle may offer meaningful daily support. It is thought to work partly as an antioxidant, neutralizing free radicals that damage liver cells during detoxification, and to support the regeneration of liver cells over time. Practically, milk thistle is most commonly taken as a standardized extract in capsule form, with the silymarin content listed on the label. A tea is also available, and those seed extracts provide more concentrated support. One caution: milk thistle belongs to the same plant family as ragweed. Those with related allergies should proceed carefully and consult their healthcare provider before use. For the liver, that tireless workhorse of the body, milk thistle stands as one of nature's most studied and most trusted allies. Section 2. Dandelion root. The weed that heals. Most people look at dandelions and see a nuisance. They appear uninvited in gardens, pulled up and discarded without a second thought. But traditional healers across Europe, Asia, and the Americas looked at this plant very differently. For centuries, dandelion root and leaf were used to support the liver, stimulate digestion, and help the body clear waste more efficiently. In traditional European herbalism, dandelion was considered one of the foremost liver tonics available. In Chinese medicine, it was used to support bile flow. In Native American traditions, various parts of the plant supported digestive and kidney function. Dandelion root contains bitter compounds, taraxacin and taraxaxarin, that stimulate the production and flow of bile from the gallbladder. Bile is the liver's primary mechanism for exporting processed toxins and drug metabolites out of the body. When bile flows freely, the liver's ability to clear substances may be meaningfully improved. Think of it simply: if the liver is a processing factory, bile is the delivery system that carries waste out. Dandelion helps keep that system moving. Dandelion root also contains inulin, a prebiotic fiber that selectively feeds beneficial gut bacteria. For anyone whose microbiome has been disrupted by antibiotic use, this quiet daily contribution matters. Dandelion is most practically consumed as a roasted root tea. Earthy, slightly bitter, brewed before or after meals. Fresh leaves can be added to salads. Extracts and capsules are also widely available. Those with gallstones or bile duct obstruction should consult a healthcare provider before using dandelion regularly, as its bile-stimulating properties require a clear biliary pathway. But for a plant that most people step over without a second thought, dandelion carries a depth of healing knowledge that is well worth rediscovering. Section 3. Turmeric. Golden protection from within. There is a spice used in cooking and medicine for over 4,000 years. It gives curry its golden color. And inside its bright orange root lies one of the most studied natural compounds in modern biomedical research: turmeric, curcuma longa. Its primary active component, curcumin, has been the subject of thousands of published studies exploring inflammation, liver health, and cellular protection. Why does this matter in the context of medication burden? And one of the most significant ways that long-term medication use affects the body is through chronic, low-grade inflammation. When the liver is processing substances over many years, when the gut microbiome is disrupted, when essential nutrients are depleted, the body's inflammatory pathways can become persistently activated. This quiet inflammation contributes to many of the chronic conditions that affect people as they age. Curcumin has been studied for its ability to modulate key inflammatory pathways, including NF-κB, considered a master regulator of the inflammatory response. By supporting the body's natural inflammatory balance, curcumin may help address one of the core downstream effects of long-term medication burden. Curcumin also appears to support the liver's detoxification pathways, influencing enzymes involved in phase 2 detoxification, the stage where the liver neutralizes potentially harmful compounds for export. There is one important practical point. Curcumin on its own is poorly absorbed. Most passes through the body without significant uptake. Traditional cultures, intuitively, combine turmeric with black pepper, and science confirms this was wise. Black pepper contains piperine, which has been shown to increase curcumin's bioavailability by up to 20 times. Always add a pinch of black pepper when using turmeric in warm drinks, soups, or seasoning. For more concentrated support, standardized curcumin extracts that already contain piperine are widely available. If you enjoy this kind of knowledge, where traditional plant wisdom meets modern science, consider subscribing to Herbal Longevity. New videos go up regularly, built on the same principles of accuracy and respect for your intelligence. Section 4. restoring the gut, fermented foods, and ginger inside your digestive tract. Right now, there are trillions of microorganisms. This community, called the gut microbiome, does far more than assist with digestion. It trains the immune system. It produces certain vitamins. It communicates with the brain via the gut-brain axis. It influences mood, metabolism, and the integrity of the intestinal lining itself. Antibiotics can significantly disturb this ecosystem, and recovery can take years. But antibiotics are not alone. Proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux have been shown to alter the gut microbiome over time. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs can affect the gut lining. The cumulative effect of long-term polypharmacy on the microbial ecosystem is an area of growing scientific concern. So what does nature offer to help restore this ecosystem? The answer begins with fermented foods, yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, kombucha. These are not health trends. They are ancient foods that have persisted across virtually every culture for thousands of years because they work. Nenta fermented foods contain living beneficial bacteria, primarily lactobacillus and bifidobacterium species that contribute to microbial diversity. Regular consumption has been associated in research with improved gut microbiome diversity, reduced inflammatory markers, and stronger immune function. For someone who has taken antibiotics or other gut-disrupting medications, incorporating daily fermented foods is one of the most practical, evidence-supported steps available. Ginger is the second pillar of gut restoration. Used for digestive complaints for over 2,000 years, ginger appears to accelerate gastric emptying and has demonstrated anti-inflammatory effects on the gut lining that may support healing of intestinal tissues stressed by medication exposure. Ginger tea, fresh slices simmered in water for 10 minutes, is one of the simplest and most effective daily habits available. Peppermint tea after meals adds antispasmodic support, relaxing smooth muscle in the digestive tract, and easing the bloating that medications can sometimes provoke. The gut is not a passive tube. It is a living ecosystem. Feed it wisely, and it will support every other system in the body. Section 5. Replenishing what medications quietly remove. Here is something almost no one is told when they pick up their prescription. Many of the most commonly prescribed medications in the world are associated with the depletion of specific essential nutrients. This is documented in pharmacological literature, and it has real implications for how people feel during long-term medication use. Metformin, one of the most widely prescribed diabetes medications, has been clearly associated with the depletion of vitamin B12, essential for nerve function, red blood cell production, and energy metabolism. Long-term users who are not monitoring their B12 levels can develop fatigue, tingling in the hands and feet, and memory problems that may be mistakenly attributed to aging or to diabetes itself. Proton pump inhibitors reduce stomach acid, and stomach acid plays a critical role in releasing certain nutrients from food. Long-term users may have reduced absorption of magnesium, B12, and vitamin C. Statins have been associated with depletion of coenzyme Q10, essential for energy production in heart and muscle tissue. Many people on statins report muscle aches and fatigue, consistent with reduced CoQ10 levels. Diuretics can deplete potassium and magnesium. Corticosteroids over time are linked to reductions in calcium and vitamin D. The common thread, the body's nutritional reserves can be quietly eroded by medications that are otherwise keeping serious conditions managed. What does nature offer in response? A whole food diet is the most powerful answer. Dark leafy greens provide magnesium, calcium, and B vitamins. Legumes and seeds offer broad mineral support. Pumpkin seeds and hemp seeds are among the richest dietary sources of magnesium available. Nutritional yeast, a single tablespoon, provides substantial B1, B2, B3, and B6, and fortified varieties include B12. The principle is straightforward. When medications deplete nutrients, the solution is not to stop the medication. The solution is to become more deliberate about nutrition, to eat in a way that actively replenishes what is being drawn down. This requires no prescription. It only requires intention. Have you ever been told by a doctor that your medication might be depleting certain nutrients? Share your experience in the comments. It is one of the most common things people in this community tell us that they wished they had known sooner. Section 6. Garlic and chamomile. Two everyday healers. Some of the most powerful natural tools are also the most familiar. Garlic has been called Russian penicillin. a reference to its long history in folk medicine for treating infections. Ancient Egyptian medical texts mention it as a remedy. Hippocrates prescribed it. Traditional Chinese, Ayurvedic, and Mediterranean medicine all place garlic at the center of their healing traditions. The reason is straightforward. Garlic works. Its primary active compound, allicin, is produced when garlic is crushed or chopped. Allicin has demonstrated broad antimicrobial properties, cardiovascular support, and meaningful prebiotic activity, feeding beneficial gut bacteria while inhibiting harmful pathogens. This is particularly valuable after antibiotic use when the protective microbial ecosystem has been weakened. Garlic also supports the liver's detoxification pathways through sulfur compounds that contribute to the production of glutathione, the body's master antioxidant, which the liver relies upon heavily for its detoxification processes. For a liver working harder than usual due to long-term medication processing, garlic's glutathione-supporting properties are genuinely valuable. One practical note: crushing garlic and allowing it to rest for 10 minutes before cooking preserves far more of the active compounds than immediate heating. Traditional recipes intuitively honored this. 1 clove of garlic daily in soups, dressings, or sauces, practiced consistently, contributes meaningfully to liver support, gut health, and immune resilience. Now let's turn to chamomile. This gentle flower has been brewed as tea for thousands of years, from ancient Egypt and Greece to every corner of the modern world. A landmark study at the University of Pennsylvania found chamomile extract to be clinically meaningful in reducing symptoms of generalized anxiety disorder. Multiple studies have confirmed it improves sleep quality by reducing the mental activation that interferes with rest. For the digestive system, chamomile contains compounds, apigenin, bisabolol, and chamizoline, that relax smooth muscle in the gut and reduce the cramping and intestinal tension that medications can sometimes provoke. For anyone managing chronic illness or taking multiple long-term medications, nervous system and digestive support are not luxuries. They are foundations of healing. Chamomile tea in the evening, 2 or 3 cups using quality dried flowers, is one of the most pleasant and effective health habits available. Sometimes the simplest tools are the most profound. Section 7. Echinacea, rebuilding immune resilience. One of the quieter costs of long-term medication use is a gradual, subtle effect on immune function, not a dramatic weakening in most cases, but a diminishment of the immune system's responsiveness, its capacity to recognize and address threats with the precision that good health requires. This can happen through effects on the gut microbiome, which is connected to approximately 70% of the body's immune tissue, or through nutrient depletions that affect the production of immune cells. For people seeking to support and rebuild immune resilience naturally, Echinacea stands as one of the most well-researched and historically validated herbs available. Native to North America, Echinacea was used extensively by indigenous peoples for infections, wounds, and inflammatory complaints. It became one of the most widely used herbal medicines in the United States before the rise of antibiotics shifted medical culture away from plant-based approaches. The plant contains several immunologically active compounds: polysaccharides, alkylamides, glycoproteins, and caffeic acid derivatives that appear to stimulate different aspects of immune function. Clinical trials have shown Echinacea preparations can reduce both the incidence and duration of upper respiratory infections when taken preventively or at the first sign of illness. For those rebuilding immune function after antibiotic treatment or managing conditions that require long-term immunomodulating medications, Echinacea offers consistent, gentle support. Echinacea is most commonly taken as a tincture, tea, or capsule. People with autoimmune conditions should consult a healthcare provider before use, as immune stimulation requires careful consideration in that context. For most adults looking to support immune resilience naturally, particularly after periods of antibiotic use, Echinacea is a well-studied and practically accessible option. Nature has been supporting human immune systems for a very long time. We are simply learning in scientific language what traditional healers already knew. The biggest mistake, and the real goal. Before we close, I want to address something directly. The biggest mistake people make when they discover natural health strategies is trying to replace medicine completely. They learn about the side effects of a medication, feel uncomfortable, and decide, without guidance or monitoring, to simply stop taking it, or to substitute a supplement without informing their doctor. This is not a path toward health. It is a path toward unnecessary risk. The goal of natural support is not to eliminate medicine, it is to reduce the need for it over time through genuinely improved health, while protecting the body from the secondary costs of treatment in the meantime. A person who eats well, exercises, reduces stress, supports their liver, rebuilds their gut, and replenishes their nutrients may, over time and with medical guidance, be able to reduce their medication needs. But that is a conversation to have with a doctor who can monitor the results. The role of natural medicine is to build the body up. The role of modern medicine is to intervene when the body needs intervention. Used together, with honesty and proper communication, these two approaches can accomplish far more for long-term health than either can manage alone. The goal is not to avoid medicine. The goal is to need it less, and to thrive in the space between. We have covered a great deal today. We looked honestly at what long-term medication use can do to the liver, the gut, and the body's nutritional reserves. We explored natural strategies to address each: milk thistle and dandelion for liver support, turmeric for anti-inflammatory protection, fermented foods and ginger for gut restoration, whole food nutrition to replenish what medications may remove, garlic for liver and gut ecosystem support, chamomile to calm the nervous system and digestive tract, and echinacea to rebuild immune resilience. None of these are miracle cures. All of them are tools. Tools with centuries of traditional use and a growing body of modern research behind them. Health rarely comes from one dramatic intervention. It comes from many small, consistent choices made each day in what we eat, in the plants we bring into our lives, and in the conversations we are willing to have with our healthcare providers. You are not powerless in the face of medication burden. You are not simply a passive recipient of a prescription. You are a person with agency, with choices, and with access to thousands of years of accumulated plant wisdom. Use it wisely. Use it alongside your medical care. Thank you for being here today. Health grows from small habits repeated over time. And if you would like to keep exploring these ideas, subscribe to Herbal Longevity. New videos go up regularly, each one built on the same principles of accuracy, balance, and deep respect for your intelligence. Until next time, take good care of yourself. And remember, the body knows how to heal. Give it everything it needs to do so.